Well, let's start rolling right into this. Maybe in like not a creepy way.
Yeah, I'll do it with my wife in the room. You could be eating a box of Eggos every single day.
With maple syrup and bacon. Roll out of bed. I just comb my beard, brush my teeth.
I don't even do half of that. Kissing babies and signing checks.
Oh, writing checks.
Breaking necks. Breaking necks. Okay, bro.
Yeah, go down, bro.
You want to just start over again?
Let's do it all.
Okay.
Welcome to the PM&A podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 44.
What is going on?
Man, oh man, oh man. Guys, this episode is brought to you by Wavemaker Brewery. They want you to know that you can still pick up beer. They also want you to know that you can pick it up online, you can order it on their website, and you can also order it online for curbside pickup. Guys, they want you to enjoy their beer. It's awesome. We love the brewery.
It's amazing.
They're great guys. So they have a couple beers coming up that are really, really rad. They have the Raspberry, they have the Oath, they have the Legendary Power Sour, and they have the Double Vice Sour. They have some really good beer, guys. So
I really enjoyed the Raspberry and the Sour. It's really good.
It's amazing. We love it. So COVID-19 isn't stopping them, guys. You can still go get beer. You can still curbside pick up. They want you to drink their beer. So head over to Wavemaker Brewery in Cambridge, Ontario, guys. They want you to drink some beer.
Right on. And we'd also like to do our new sponsor, the Bearded Lumberjack. We'd like
what's
to
up?
welcome to the PM&A podcast family.
Yeah.
They are offering a Father's Day deal. If you guys haven't gotten anything for your father yet, you know, like a boat paddle or a canoe, that head over to the Bearded Lumberjack and enter the promo code DAD2020, and you can get yourself a 20% off for any product that he's got on the site there. Yeah. And I know he was also looking at making some more shirts as well, so if that interested and
it's on his website.
Yeah, it's all on the Instagram and on the website. You can jump on there, and you can DM us as well as if you need to get some other information that might not be on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rad.
All right.
Alrighty, DJ Dick.
Rick Webb. How's it going, man?
DJ Rick Webb. How's it going, man?
What's up? I'm doing great.
I can tell you, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've been following you for a very, very long time, and I appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Us Canadian boys from Cambridge to Cambridge, Ohio.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Cambridge, Ohio to Cambridge,
Ontario. Okay.
Ontario, yeah.
It's okay, man.
Canada, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whichever.
It's just Canada.
We're
No big deal.
We're just friends. We're friends with Drake.
Yeah,
Just start off small.
I'm Bieber's neighbor.
So for those of them, everybody listening that doesn't know who you are, can you just give them a quick overview of who you are, and then we'll get into it?
Yeah. So I'm DJ Rick Webb. I've been doing this since I've been basically DJing since I was 15 years old. Mostly weddings, high school dances, parties, and stuff. And basically started off on my own, and then worked for a company, and then eventually moved states from Ohio to North Carolina in pursuit of opening my own company. And now I'm in year 2 of owning and operating my full DJ company, and I got one other DJ working for me, and we'll slowly build that up and eventually expand into multiple DJs.
Wow, man.
Yeah, man, I can tell you, I've been following you a very, very long time, and so I know you started in in 2010, and the first gig you did was like a birthday or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a comment. Yeah. If you want it, like the actual first that made me want to do DJing or whatever, or planted the seed or the idea of DJing was, it was my buddy's 13-year-old birthday party, and he asked me to bring my iPad with some music on it because I played the music at our weight room when we lifted for football and stuff in middle school. So I brought my iPad, and I kind of was just picking songs and stuff. And I happened to have a pretty diverse library from my parents and stuff that gave me rock and roll, country, etc. And his mom came up to me and was like, you know, you're really good at this song selection thing. You ever thought about DJing parties? I'm like, what? What's this? And then one of the friends I had at the time, we're not really friends anymore, but he wanted to be a big radio announcer, and we kind of teamed up to start doing the initial parties. He was the MC, I was the DJ, but he eventually wanted to try and be the DJ, but he sucked as a DJ, so we kind of split.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a little Gemini when you started, didn't you?
It was actually no, I had no mixer for the longest time. I was internal with virtual DJ on my
Oh,
laptop.
jeez.
Trackpad. I knew all the hotkeys for
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
pause, back and forth. And that experience of doing that for multiple years with free virtual DJ actually came in handy last year at a wedding where it started raining. They crapped out. We had the last minute move to their porch. It was at their rich people they had at their house. No rain backup, but we had it on their kind of big porch. And the quickest thing I could do was Bluetooth virtual DJ to my portable speaker I had at the time. And I just internal mixed it.
All night.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that video.
For
It
the
was cool.
whole
Like, it was a
night.
little bar
No
thing, right? It wasn't a
way.
big room either.
The whole night I mixed on internal, on virtual DJ,
Oh, jeez.
Bluetoothing to one LD Systems Maui 5 Go for about 80 people, 50 to 80 people that were cycling through. And I threw a Wash FX2 on top of the fridge on his bar, put it on sound active, and that was my wedding experience
Whoa.
for them.
That was, what were you saying? How long ago was that?
What?
That was 2 weeks ago, you were saying?
No, that was last summer.
Oh,
That
last
was
summer, sorry.
August.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That was last August.
See, it pays to. Ernie had the same humble beginnings. We forever were having, like, weddings and whatever it is, and like stag and does. And so for like my stag and doe, I know we just bought 2 giant like box. What are those called, Ernie?
House speakers. They were house speakers. But
Yeah,
they were
I had
tower,
house speakers too.
tower house speakers. Yeah, I know. You did.
And then we set up a turner.
And a house amp as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we put an auxiliary cord into an iPad or an iPod or whatever, and then we just like had a playlist and we just rigged it up. And I'm like, we could do this. I'm like, why don't you do this? And then what was that first? You had that first plastic controller. Remember Ernie and I did a stag and doe.
An Ion DJ.
Oh yeah, the Ion DJ.
Yeah.
Mine was a Hercules 4 set.
Hercules, sorry, that's what it
Very
was.
similar Hercules 4 set, and then
It's plastic.
eventually got into actual legit stuff.
Yeah, that was
there.
was that Ernie? Was that your first stag and doe with that? Remember the one time we went?
It was the first. Yeah, it was the first event I did that was actually legit, where I was actually like DJing, and they paid me in a 2-4 a Moosehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is a Canadian
but
beer.
it was the same thing. Like, it was
I was
other
about to
people
say,
around
I need some
there.
terminology here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's a Canadian
Apologize.
beer, our 6% ALC.
What's the stack and dough? What are you saying?
Stag and
Stag and doe.
It's like a bucket
Bucket
doe. Oh, you don't know what that is. So,
No,
so in Canada,
you're throwing me off here.
so like it's like the party that makes the money for the wedding or the marriage. You never heard of that? You guys
the
don't.
party that makes money for the no.
So the wedding party hangs out and throws this big party, and they call it a stag and doe. And then there's like games, and like they sell alcohol, and there's a portion of the money goes towards the bride and groom. It's the best way to make money up here for DJing.
That rarely ever happens.
So it's just
we've never.
wedding.
Yeah,
What?
I mean, they don't have like sometimes it's very very rare, but sometimes they'll throw like an engagement party, which kind of might be similar to that. But it's
No.
very rare.
Wow, that's interesting.
So they would have
there's-
the. Go
There's
ahead.
no real fundraising or anything that happens in terms of like the fund their wedding. It's normally either the couple pays for it, or by tradition the father of the bride pays for the wedding,
Man,
and then the groom's parents pay for the rehearsal.
yeah, in Canada, it's like a whole thing. So Ernie would so there's always a stag and doe, and there's always a wedding when it happens with a wedding. There's always a stag and doe. So Ernie books a price range around, hey, if you need the DJ for the stag and doe, you also use us for the wedding. We'll do both, and then a cheaper rate for the stag and doe, and you're actually making more of the money off the stag and doe. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's like a party, and then they raise money, and it's like games and stuff. It's awesome. That's hilarious how that's not in the States. How you don't like, especially you're like you own your own DJ company, and that's not a thing. Oh yeah, that's how Ernie makes most of his money when he DJs. Is those stag and does.
Yeah, the stag and doe, really, it's just like it's a party, and to be honest, like the dancing really doesn't start till like 10. Like, I had it not start till 11 one night, and the thing was done at 12:30 because they do. They'll have like door prizes, and you have like a raffle, so they gotta like do all of that before they even want to start dancing.
And then you're barely DJing. You're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couples either have never seen me DJ before or saw videos, or they attended a wedding that I DJ'd. That's normally the amount of experience that couples have prior to their wedding with actually knowing me as a DJ in terms of what I do in person.
So when you did your first event, how many would you say that one like kind of snowballed into?
No, there wasn't really much of a snowball after that. So you talk about like that initial one where they planted the seed, the idea. Nothing really happened from that. That kind of like got the idea going, and then me and the guy, we were basically like, oh, we'll create a company. We made a logo, made a Facebook page, and started kind of promoting it to our friends. And then we got some 13-year-old birthday parties here and there, which then eventually went into some 16-year-old birthday parties. The first event that actually snowballed into like actually creating a chain of events was the first middle school dance I did.
Oh, cool.
And I got that from I have multiple people in my family that worked in the school district. So they're like, hey, he does school dances and stuff, and middle school looks for cheap DJs. So I did it for, I think, $200.
Nice.
Something like that. And I remember it was awesome because like I was the first young DJ, and this is kind of when I was in middle school at the time too. So it kind of basically what helped that seed along was the DJs we had for the middle school sucked. We all hated them. They were old guys, and the one dude had like super long hair, and like you couldn't tell if he was trans, gay, bi. We didn't know. He had this really high pitched voice, and he liked to get on the mic a lot and stuff. And,
oh jeez, was
yeah,
he giving a table for one at Chuck E. Cheese?
It was a trainer DJ, but
Oh,
so I did that first middle school dance, and the kids the whole time loved it, but I constantly was getting the complaint, can you make it louder? Can you make it louder? Because I had 2 basic Carpenter speakers for probably 300 people.
Oh.
300 kids in this middle school, and they just like literally the whole time, can you turn it up? Can you turn it up? I'm like, these things are on red line right now.
They're gonna blow.
But doing that event and how well I did it with all the kids, all the other faculty saw that were there, and that snowballed me into basically getting into the high school and the middle school and doing other events, and that led to some like private parties and stuff. I never really got into weddings though. Weddings were something that I got into when I joined the catering company that I worked for in high school.
It sounds like, Ernie, you've been kind of doing it the reverse way. You've got into more weddings and like the stag and does first, and now you're getting into kind of parties. Is that, would you agree, Ernie? Like, is that what you're kind of doing?
I didn't start this till I was a little bit older though. Like I was way out of middle school and all that. Like even like doing an event like that, like I don't think I started DJing till I was in my like early 30s, right? So for me to go in and do a school dance, like I was kind of above that age group, and I'm like, even now when we the company that I'm kind of subbing through right now, they'll get like school dances, and he'll be telling me some of the music that they were playing, and I'm like, never heard of it, never.
Yeah, I started out as 15, being an 8th grader going into high school, so I was in that middle point where I knew the middle school, I knew the high school, and I just kind of sprung from there. But catering was kind of the biggest thing that got me into the industry, because that's what introduced me to all the other DJs in the area. So I worked for the largest catering company in our area. Like the Ohio as a state, they basically were the lead caterer in the bottom corner, like the quarter of the state. We were doing anywhere from 3 on like off season time. It was like 3 weddings a weekend. Peak wedding season was anywhere from 5 to 8 on a Saturday. Like 5 to 8 weddings going on at one time on a Saturday. So doing that, especially in the summer, that's all I did other than football. So I worked there throughout the week. I was in charge of like loading all the vans. We had like 6 vans or something like that and a couple trucks, and help organizing. But I saw pretty much within the first 2 months of working there, I pretty much have seen every single DJ in our area that did a wedding. I knew all the DJs. I knew exactly all the ones that sucked. I knew the 2 that actually were decent. And I kind of was I got myself into a position in the catering company where I was pretty much a manager, so I kind of at the wedding, I could do whatever I wanted. So I spent a good amount of time talking to the DJs, and during their sets, I go spend a half an hour back there just watching them and learning. And and then eventually I actually asked the one. I got to know the one really well that owned a company, one of the largest companies in the area, and he owns a family-owned business and stuff. And I never really asked to join. He asked me. He basically knew me. He's like, "You're a really good kid and everything." He's like, I want to see what you can do. Like, let's start doing some events. So he started throwing events at me.
Oh, man.
And then I worked my way into being part of his company pretty much as a 1099.
Wow, man.
So when you were listening to them DJ, did you ever run into any playlist guys where you could just be like, I know he's gonna play next. I know what he's gonna play next.
I never really could guess what they were gonna play next. You mean like the guys that play the exact same set every single weekend?
Yeah.
No, I can actually thankfully say no. There was no DJs in my area that actually did that. Now there was a million fade mixers that they just played a song, faded out, play the next song. I remember cringing so hard at the one wedding. The dude just bought a computer.
Oh.
Like he was playing with Windows Media Player.
No.
Was how he was DJing. Because he was a track guy. He'd load a CD, play the track, unload it, load the next CD, play a track. And he literally, I was looking at the crowd. He didn't play a single song from that era. It was like all 80s and below. And like...
What? So he would stop the song, and then it would be dead air? It would it wouldn't be...
Yeah.
What?
This is probably one of the worst weddings I've ever seen from a DJ.
That's crazy.
This is he plays the first dance song, right? And then he played the father-daughter. That one worked. And remember, there's a pause in between each one. He's clicking and loading. Yep. He goes to play the mother-son. And it just so happened that the mother of the son paid for the whole wedding. I found out after the fact, because that's who I got the check from for the catering side. But he's on the mic saying this to him. All right, I'm gonna get the track real quick.
No.
I can't seem to find it. Let me see. It's right here. Oh, here it is. And then like if it didn't play, it was like corrupt or something. He's like, I'll get it. Don't you worry. I'm on top of it. And he's sitting down too. He's a sit down DJ. He's sitting down on the laptop and everything. And the bride or the mother, the groom is like, I got the song on my phone. I can come over and plug it in for you.
No.
And like just roasting him, and everyone's just standing there watching.
Oh my gosh.
It had to have been 3 or 4 minutes before we actually got the song loaded on. It was
Cringe. Total cringe. Oh,
so
man.
My staff, I had 2 other people with me on my staff, and our catering company does like all the decor, the linen, so we pretty much stay the whole night. So we're like a decorating and catering company in one. We'll do centerpieces, all that. So we're in the back, and I actually pulled out my Bluetooth speaker on my iPad because I was too tired of listening to bullshit music, and I literally just started like mixing with DJ Pro or whatever on my iPad, just playing like LMFAO. Yeah, there you go. Playing that stuff, and we're in the back just jamming.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna ask you because you were saying like you ran into a lot of bad DJs. I guess I was gonna ask you like what's the criteria for a bad DJ? Just like
they suck. Well, it was like they never. I don't know. Me. Yeah. I knew. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a young teen. I don't know, thinking I'm better than everyone else. But literally, that motivated me to want to be a DJ. One, our middle school DJs sucked. Our high school DJs were not even close to being even better. And pretty much, I go out and do these weddings almost every other weekend. And I'm like, this dude's not even mixing. And I'm like, I am like a million times better than all you people. Like I'm just gonna do this just to prove all you guys that you suck.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I honestly.
Yeah.
So that a lot of my career was based around proving people wrong.
That's awesome.
And there's a side story you can get into that in terms of proving my parents wrong too, because I
gotta ask for that. Yeah.
I had zero support in being a DJ.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like a lot of people, like they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a DJ." They're like, "Yeah, no, you're not. That's a bad idea." What did so your parents were like that? They're just like, obviously, are they supportive now?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are now. I mean, they pretty much to the point. It's at the point now where like there's support. They're at the point where they're like basically they understand that I know what I'm doing in terms of like money, and
Business.
I know how to make money and support myself. So they kind of just they question what I'm doing. Like when I say I'm doing like I'm gonna go buy $5,000 worth of gear, they're like, okay, you seem to know what you're doing.
But at the beginning, what was it like at the beginning when you started though?
It was a lot of don't why are you wasting your time doing this? You don't make money doing it. Get yourself a job, which I did. I worked for the catering company. So it was pretty much like whatever I wanted to do DJing had to come after I basically did everything else. So I had to get my football practice, my lifting in for that because that was like the most primary thing. I had to work. I had to make money to be able to pay my gas and all that to drive around. And then DJing came after that. So
So when you left the were you still with the catering company when you went to DJ Associates then?
yes, yeah, I worked for Bo for many years. So whenever I wasn't DJing, I was working catering.
Good way to make
And during the summer, I mean, I worked every day of the week. So, and
Wow,
I was probably a bigger asset for that company during the week because of my organization skills to go through, make load sheets of like you need 200 plates here and count out silverware and just make sure every van is loaded with exactly what it needs for the event so that they have their stuff. That was my biggest role. I mean, I was I was third in the chain of command for the company for the last 3 years I worked for them.
So you could almost say like doing the catering gig and then going to organizing weddings for for DJ Associates with them. Now, were you doing the organizing? Because I was going to say to organize the whole event itself, to just do what you need to do musically would seem like a walk in the park.
So you're saying like on the DJ side, how much did I have to do in terms for that
Yeah,
company?
like were you given like your agenda, or
I
did
was
you have
pretty
to sit
much
with?
given the agenda. So they had their own. We had our own lady that handled all the bookings, and she handled all the planning. So for the most part, the most interaction I pretty much had was a month out. I would go to the headquarters, go to the office. I would sit down with her and the couple, and
Nice.
she would pretty much run the show for the whole meeting, and I would just sit there nodding my head. And if they didn't have songs, I would be the one sitting there with a laptop with the music playing all the suggested, like, oh, you don't have a cake cutting song. Hey, Rick, play Sweet Girl. Play Sweet Girl Caroline or whatever the song is.
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Girl Caroline. Oh. Yeah, your audio went.
I had
there we
to
go.
because
Sorry.
otherwise you would have had Alexa talking for about 3 minutes there. I had it, but a reminder came in. I knew it would come through. I heard the "put-up," and I was like, yeah, okay.
That's all right.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyways, yeah, she pretty much ran the show, and even she was the one calling out the song requests. Like I said, she would be like, "Hey, yeah, play a song. Hey, Rick, you don't have this song. Oh, just Rick, play Single Ladies for them real quick."
You're like,
She's
okay,
like,
yeah,
I got the
no
perfect
problem.
song.
Oh,
But
man.
that was her. It was kind of cool because she actually was a wedding planner. So she worked for us as a wedding planner. So it worked hand in hand. It was a great relationship they had set up with her because she made commission on booking our events and she was the wedding planner. And even if she didn't do the wedding planning for the event, she still made money from us and it helped expand. And she knows everything that happens at a wedding, so it helped the company a lot too.
Oh, they're intense people to work with. The company I'm working with right now, it's my first kind of year working with them. Holy cow, are those people organized? Whew.
With the planners.
Mm-hmm.
So that must have been a really good learning opportunity, having that person you're like literally working right beside that person. Now, did a lot of those like same organizational skills have those like transferred over to your own business now? You've like is that what you're doing basically now on your own with your one buddy, like just doing that one? You're just doing all that right now.
it's honestly one of the biggest parts of our company. So, that's actually one of the. You always have to have differentiation features of your company versus others. I'm definitely shooting for a high-end DJ company, like where I don't want to be middle average. I'm not trying to shoot for the basic guys. I'm trying to get the high-end clientele, do not as many of events. I want me and my guys to do a good amount of events, but I want all the high-end ticket, which is really hard to get into. But once you get into them, you pretty much have it established. It's a lot more work to get into it. We're definitely not there yet. We're chipping at it. We get like one or two here and there that we're like, oh, that's the kind of event we want, and then we're still getting the average ones too. But we pretty much in our company, we sell the fact that we will be your day of planner. So I function as the wedding consultant for the company. So whether you work with myself or Marcellus for your wedding, I'm pretty much here the whole entire time to answer any single question you have. And I have like a bunch of tip articles pre-wrote out that get emailed out to the clients leading up to their wedding. It's like just like venue layout tips. Don't put your DJ in a corner, you idiot. Yeah. And just stuff to plant seeds and stuff to make our life better too. But there's tons of tips in there, like even from like talking to your wedding party, getting your wedding party on your team, on your side, just having those little discussions, hashtags, getting hashtags established so that way you get your pictures after the event. Just little things that I've heard and stuff. And that's actually one thing on this off season right now. Well, off season, this
Corona season.
Corona season, doing nothing season. I'm working on basically videos of those, and I've actually launched our Fusion Sound Lighting YouTube channel. No one really knows about that because I'm waiting to get all the content up there before we end it. But they're on my whiteboard off to the side that I'm reading through. There's like 28 different videos that I'm going to be filming. They're just going to be me providing educational tips and stuff. And I sell the fact that I worked for a catering company for 5 years that did 5 to 7 weddings every single weekend. I've seen a ton of weddings. Yeah. I know how they work, and I know how to create a good flow for your event. And we send 2 people to our events. That's how we do the day of planner. So the assistant DJ, which is actually our DJ in training to be a headline DJ, will take care of playing music for like cocktail, maybe the ceremony music and the dinner music, while the headline guy, me or Marcellus, is running around checking in on all the other vendors and stuff like that. So it's a huge selling factor, especially for the venues here that require a planner. We have some venues that actually require a day of planner. We save clients a lot of money that way.
Yeah.
Having it built into it.
Like a one-stop shopping kind of thing. They can just go, I have a DJ who is also the wedding planner to kind of like take that on. That's awesome, man. That in itself is always like so important. Even like with as young guys, it's like if I know a young guy or got young guys work for me or something, I'm always saying get a job where you can learn something that you can like carry on. Don't just always like work at McDonald's. Don't get like a weird part-time job. Get a part-time job where you can like take a skill, or you can learn from somebody, or you're gonna be able to like take this like organizational skill and like you can move it on. Because like look how it's paid off for you in like spades, right? Like that's so rad. That's like so cool. That's so cool. So,
absolutely.
So what would you say with out of all the DJ stuff you do, what's like the most fun? What do you have like? So obviously there's like there's probably a lot of pressure for like weddings and stuff. But like what's like the most fun that you're like, cool, I can't wait to go do this? Or do you like all your kind of like events?
Any event where we have overkill gear.
What's that?
So basically our high school division where we do proms and homecomings. So there's like my business model, my business plan that's wrote out is broken into stages pretty much. We're in stage 1, which is basically establishing a following and building up our reputation and building those connections to get us into the high-end side on weddings. Stage 2 is developing into the production side of the company. So, and that's going to mostly be leveraged through our high schools. And I was originally planning to jump into the high school division a lot quicker down here until I kind of realized that the high school division down here was not used to the style of high schools that I'm trying to do. So our style that I developed over the 7 years I was in Ohio. With actually, I leveraged the fact that I worked for a really big multi-op that had all this equipment to do this, to basically build this sort of style of high school dance where it's more of a concert style experience. And it's not 4 hours. We actually, the one high school that we've worked with the longest, the most recent homecoming we did for them was 2.5 hours. And really, it was only 2 hours long because half an hour is the intro portion. But we're pretty much developing them into basically a high-energy concert-style event where we have a stage, giant truss lighting setup where literally it looks like a concert-style setup and a really loud sound system. So kids are getting that concert-style experience because, honestly, a lot of kids in high school, honestly, probably will never make it to a concert in their life.
What?
A lot of people don't. Believe it or not, no. Especially in our area. So our area is very rural southeastern Ohio.
Okay, I see.
So a lot of these are farm town kids and stuff. And,
yeah, you're right.
they're probably not going to experience a concert well, I guess in the future it might be better, but now it won't. Who knows if there's going to be concerts anymore? But
yeah, all virtual concerts.
They definitely, most of them had not been to a concert yet.
So you're bringing that full experience. That's awesome. Yeah.
That experience of you're in front of the stage and the bass is hitting you in the face, and like you just, that's the experience we bring.
Cool.
So that's what I'm trying to develop down here. The problem with doing that is it requires a big budget to be able to do that, and that's sort of the events I love to do because I get to recreate a concert style stage. Even if I'm not the DJ there, I love just being out there, experiencing those subwoofers hitting me in the face. And knowing it's all my gear is awesome.
That is awesome, man. That is so cool.
So I was going to jump into it a little quicker down here because I moved to a very populated area down here. I figured that was more of a thing here, and it's not. It's more of the wedding DJ that brings the standard 2 speakers and a couple of lights or maybe a totem is also doing the proms and homecomings for less money than what he charges for the wedding. So that ain't going to work.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
So you gotta build up from somewhere, right? So
so I pretty much I targeted the 2 rich schools, basically the 2 or 3 rich schools in my area that actually have the money, and pitched them on it and was able to get in there and do it for the first year. And I pretty much am going to be back every year from now on. I cut him a hell of a deal, but it was a big eye opening when I walked into the school that brings 800 students. Just in their senior class to their prom.
What?
That was an intense video. I watched that one.
Yeah, that was a senior-only prom, and they bring anywhere from 800 to 1,000 students. And they hit me with, we paid the DJ last year $1,000. I'm like, what the hell did he bring? Oh, he brought this setup and showed me a picture, and it was like 2 18 subwoofers and 2 15-inch tops. And I'm like, for 800 students?
Probably sounds like garbage.
So I brought in a line array system and 4 subs, which honestly wasn't enough subwoofers. We were going to bring more this year until it got canceled, but we had big plans this year. We were doing 1,200 feet of glass string lighting, fake trees. It was going to be nuts.
Man,
we're doing it next year though. Looks really, really good, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be right now it's going to be May 8th of 2021. So
there you go.
More than a year away.
you got a lot of time to plan it and make sure it's awesome.
It's funny though that you say like more bass though after because I like I say I watch a lot of your YouTube videos. I'd be surprised if I missed one, and it's like just from listening to the video, like a lot of it you hear you're like, oh man, imagine standing in front of those things. Oh
yeah, that 800 person prom, those 4 subs didn't cut it for me at all, not even close. I was like, this is weak. We need more.
More sub.
I mean, my ideal setup for that would have been the same one we rocked in Ohio with 4 dual 18s. Those are amazing. That's the ideal for a school dance is those 4 dual 18s or 2 for the smaller ones. But
for an event like that, what's your setup time like from showing up to sound check to like with your lighting and everything? Like what's the timeline to get that set up?
It really depends on how many people we have there setting up because normally it's only like 2 or 3 of us actually setting it up, and if those people know what the hell they're doing. So like up in Ohio, one time because of the logistics, I mean, people want to schedule their dances on the same date, and I don't know why schools want to do that. They're competing with each other doing that. But one of the times we did Marriott, which is the bigger school in the area, there were 4 other school dances in the area going on at the same time. We literally didn't have a speaker in the warehouse available to use that night. And even my speakers that I owned were being rented to another one of our guys. I was renting my speakers to the company to use for another school dance while I used their big 4 dual 18s and stuff because we didn't have enough speakers.
Jeez Louise. Man.
But on that one, load in, we had me, myself, Austin, and the owner of the company. His son was there, so there was 4 of us unloading 2 different trailers worth of stuff. We unloaded all that probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We had it all in the gym, and then they kind of helped us get the big trussing structure up onto the cranks and set the stage, and then the company owner and his son left, and then me and Austin set up the whole entire thing by ourselves. We started at 10 a.m. I think me and him finished up. We ate lunch in the middle there somewhere, but we finished up about 4 or 5 p.m. In terms of setup, we sound checked at like 4 or 5 p.m. So we had everything set up, and he was dialing in his lighting and stuff at the last minute there. And then we left, changed, ate, came back, and we did the 2.5 hours. So we set up all day to DJ for basically 2 hours in a Rager, and then it was over. We were the first prom done out of any of the ones in our area, so we didn't have any assistants to come back and help us. And
oh man!
Me and him tore down the whole thing in actually 2 hours. So,
Jeez Louise.
Holy cow!
yeah.
Holy cow! So when you first got started there, like when you were working with DJ Associates and that, and like you were starting to do that bar gig that you had at in college there.
Yeah, the start for DJ Associates was way before the bar gigs in Ohio, or in college. I started for DJ Associates at the tail end of high school, and I didn't do the bar gigs until my senior year of college.
Oh, okay. That one bar gig that you had, you would always do like almost every weekend. That was the one video. I really liked watching those ones.
I
doing that.
I had probably the most fun ever as a DJ to this day. Other than a couple of like big events I did, those events were the most fun I ever had. Because it was, it's funny because like I knew all the DJs in our area, and I remember telling the older guys that like older, but like they were like upper 20s. They were in college there, and they've lived there all their life, and they pretty much were the bar DJs. They DJ up and down the streets and that. I remember telling them like, yeah, I'm DJing at Pigskin, which is the biggest bar on the streets. Why I tackled going for it because it's the biggest one there, biggest potential. And I remember telling them, I'm like, yeah, I pitched him on this amount, and they said yes. And they're like, what? I have never heard anyone even getting close to that. And they were like, yeah, they were telling me like the highest they ever got was like $200, $300, and I told them my pretty much double amount, and they were like, what the hell did you do? I'm like, well, I came in the first night, offered to do it for free, brought in a bunch of gear, and we made $7,000 in 4 hours.
Huh?
In just alcohol sales.
Just because you were just keeping it going. That is awesome.
Wow, yeah.
That's awesome. Man.
And you're talking about a college bar. The most expensive drink is $4.
Yeah. You're just
most of the drinks are $3.
Man.
And we made $7,000 in on a Thursday night.
Yep. Oh man.
But you weren't showing up. You weren't showing up with like house speakers, though. Let's be honest.
And then also I promoted the hell out of it. I spent money on promotions. I went to all the fraternities. I passed out flyers and stuff. Like we promoted the hell out of it every single time we did it. Mm-hmm. And we pretty much identified why all the other bar DJ events were failing. One, because they did it every single week. That doesn't work in a college town because there's exams and stuff. You have to schedule your big events around what's going on in the college. So we sat down and pretty much picked out pretty much every other week a Thursday that we would do, and then we also themed every single one of them with a different theme, and we had some sort of attraction for them, whether it's a free necklace, a free lays for Hawaiian or beach theme nights, free glow sticks, just super cheap stuff that we can buy 300 glow sticks for $50 or something like that. I don't even remember how much it was. Super cheap, and get everyone there.
Man, that is so rad. That's awesome. And so that continued for in that bar you were were you like the house DJ for a while there when you were going all through?
Yeah, junior. I started my junior year, there. Basically, that was the first year doing it, and then I did it my whole entire senior year as well.
Jeez. So, So I know you were saying before that you like the first time you kind of like DJ'd is you were setting up music for like hanging out in the gym with your buddies, but like anybody can do that. Like obviously you've been into music. So what how long have you been like into music like your whole life?
It's probably contributed to my parents. My parents were music people.
Oh. My
mom was always blasting the stereo in the car to the Monkees and AC/DC, Van Halen, Prince, Lenny Kravitz, you name it. She was the rock side of it. Mm-hmm. And then my dad would be playing anything from 70s funk to older country. So I got the experience of pretty much. I had two parents that had very diverse music tastes. So whenever I was riding with dad in the truck to go somewhere, I was listening to music. Whenever I was riding with my mom somewhere, she would blare music. My mom blares music. She's probably why I blare music now.
That's why you want all the bass.
Exactly.
That's
so,
awesome.
I was into music for a long time, and like when I grew up, we were on when I was in middle school, I think was like when the iPod was introduced, and then the iPhone was like announced towards the tail end of middle school, I think, or the beginning of high school. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember like I had the Razor flip out, and then I had an actual MP3 player when I was first getting into music and stuff. So back when that was a thing, like it was actually very technical to get music from your computer onto your MP3 player. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There
easy.
was no streaming. There was no easy way to download music. So
Napster.
Napster, LimeWire, FrostWire. So I was a very techie person, and I was able to get a hold of all this music from a young age, be it illegally. Everyone was doing it.
Everybody was doing it. Everybody was doing it.
But I pretty much was able to get all the music, so I had music to play. Like when I was in middle school, they were playing CDs, like burnt CDs in the weight room, and then I come in with a freaking MP3 player with 300 songs on it, and yeah, of course I'm going to play the music. I got all the music.
That's so awesome.
And then there's the whole clean versus not clean thing, and they wanted clean music, so I had clean. But yeah.
Yeah.
What you got?
Go ahead, Ernie.
No. So when you transitioned from transition, I hate that word. When you moved from DJ Rick Webb to Fusion Sound and Lighting, was that a hard thing to do with them going? Well, I want, because it's not just you they're getting, it's the company. But I know, like, it's just you were. My other question was going to be, how many guys do you have on staff as well as you as the Marcel as well, right? But like, I know that they're getting you as it is. Like, I know you're probably thinking you're going to expand the way, like DJ wise, like.
I had so that it's kind of from working with DJ Associates. I really liked the way his business is modeled. I liked how he had it. He had a production side, and he had a multi-op DJ side. And actually, as of now, like the multi-op DJ side is it's done for. Like he does not do weddings anymore. Like he personally does weddings, but like maybe 20 a year max. But the company doesn't have DJs on staff anymore. Like he's pretty much moved complete production. In his older age. I mean, he's been doing this for, I think he told me he's coming up. No, he hit 50 years. DJ Associates just hit 50 years. It's been around for 50 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been around a while, but like they've already gone through like the peak mobile op, and he's pretty much at the point where he's settling the company down because I think he's in his upper 50s or closing in on his 60s. And he's moving into the whole production, but I like that concept. I definitely didn't like a lot of the things he was doing with it. Like he wasn't taking advantage of the presence he had. Like, I mean, he's the number one. Every lead calls him in that area. Wedding Wire, it's rural. So Wedding Wire, the knot, that shit doesn't work in that area. It's pretty much word of mouth in that area and the vendors. And he is the number one on everyone's list. So he got all the calls. And I'm sitting there, like, he had a voicemail full of hundreds of voicemails of clients that want to talk to him and stuff. And I'm like, come on, let's go.
Can we switch phone numbers real quick? Yeah.
It's actually interesting because I showed so much inspiration for that. He actually offered the company to me.
I was gonna ask you if he was gonna do that for you.
There's a kind of there's multiple reasons why I didn't choose to do it. One is it's a rural area, so the market cap in that area is low, and the potential to expand in that area is low. He's pretty much at where it's at, and so I graduated college at the same time he offered it to me, and I had a full-time job offer down here, making really good money out of college, versus dropping all that and just going and starting working for him for pretty much nothing. I would basically have to build my income up from there. So I elected to move here because, I mean, I have Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. I have millions of people in my area that I can target. I mean, I have the capital of North Carolina, and then the city that's bigger than the capital, within an hour of me. So
yeah,
back to the original question of Fusion Sound and Lighting, creating that name. It was tough. Deciding on the name was probably one of the hardest things it was so hard. I actually polled my audience multiple times on Instagram and Facebook, like, hey, I need company idea names. And like I had like 5 or 6, and I remember Fusion was one of the first. Someone mentioned Fusion, and I was like, I instantly thought of a noodle company, but but I was like, I liked it. I don't know, it stuck with me for a while. There was a few others that I was considering, and I pretty much was like, all right, Fusion Sound and Lighting, mostly because I'm trying to. A lot of what we do is multiple purposes. Planning, lighting, DJing, we're Fusion. It stuck in my head, and Fusion seemed like a name that was vague enough that it could represent a wedding company, a production company, a school dance company. Because a lot of people pitch me on like wedding company and stuff, and definitely if I was going the solo op route, the easiest thing would be to be DJ Rick Webb. I'm DJ Rick Webb. That's my company. But I knew solo ops don't make the money I'm trying to make. It's just straight up. Like, I know I can make good money as a solo op, but I would be working my fucking ass off, and I would be doing it all my life.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much into it. So Fusion Sound Lighting was a very tough decision, but when I made the decision, I pretty much went full force with it. I mean, we made marketing and branding information. I started running ads down here before I even moved down here. I traveled down here multiple times to do wedding shows, to just start circulating it as much as I can. I do know the back end numbers. I have to look it up, but like just last year alone, we spent $10,000 in marketing and ads.
Jesus.
So
man,
and we barely made a profit. So
well, marketing is everything, man. Like that's the key. Like, you gotta do it.
It's not even close, but it was a tough decision, but it's part of the vision and the business model that we're going for to become a multi-op company, because I don't want to be the headline. I'm going to be the headline guy. It just comes with the reputation and the following. But my goal is kind of like, if you guys know Joe Bunn. Do you guys know who Joe Bunn is?
No.
I recognize the name.
He probably would. I don't.
Well, he owns he got the brand DJ or Bun Company, his last name, and they have multiple offices across the United States. Pretty much he sells like kind of like a franchise. So he's got California, but Joe himself is actually based in Raleigh, which is an hour away from me. So, but like him, he's like the headline guy of the company, and he pretty much prices himself out significantly above all of his other guys to give them a following, a reputation. And that's the same way with me. Like, if you want to get Marcellus, he's going to be cheaper than me, because I want him to go out. I want him to be out and start building presence, because when clients contact us, I'm the one on the phone with them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's easy for me to sell him, but if I need to sell him, I need him to have presence and some significance to him.
Yeah.
So Fusion is just basically a long-term thing, having a brand, a name that isn't tied to me in a way. So that way, long-term, I can add in multiple DJs. I can eventually just step out of the DJ role completely and just operate the company, or I could sell it. Just kind of like my buddy Chris that owns DJ Associates in Marietta, Ohio, when he offered me the company. It would have been pretty easy for him to I could take it over because it's called DJ Associates, and it's got the production side of the company, which he wasn't selling, is called Event Designs. Very simple, very vague, but those can transfer roles. They don't have to stay in a family name or anything like that. So it's just more of a long-term logistics move to build something that's more long-term net worth for my personal well-being.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Yeah, it makes you way more diverse. Doesn't pigeonhole you to something simple. It makes it more complex, and then you have like, and the name itself, and then the company itself will bring in those higher paying weddings and venues and stuff, because it's like you're not just DJ Rick Webb. You're like, it's a beautiful name. It's that in itself is something cool. But yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So when you're growing as you are, and now it comes with its good sides, but the bad side, and one of them I wanted to ask you about was that scam that you had, like a whole bunch of that you were dealing with. I wanted to ask you about that.
Oh, those weren't a problem at all. Those were me having fun with people. I'm used to scam calls and scam thing. It came with starting a business. I got them from day one.
Oh, really?
I definitely didn't. I mean, it just comes. Your number becomes public. Your business becomes public, and there's just those scamming people out there. So I definitely at first I fell for a lot of these in terms of like actually like getting excited, like, oh my God, they're gonna pay me $7,000. But I also was smart enough that when they were like, hey, we want to pay credit card, and then they were like, hey, can you also charge our credit card like an additional $2,000 and give us that in cash so that we can pay our photographer?
What?
And I'm sitting there like, I know I'm smart enough in my head to be like, that's illegal, because then I'm paying taxes on the money for the photographer, and no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So at that point, I pretty much quickly, after a couple of those, I quickly realized what they were, and I began to have fun with them. So
some of them were pretty funny.
I would just
really
fuck
good
with these guys hard, like lead them on so much, and then just hit them. Like, I can't remember what the name of the credit card company I used. They would always ask, like, what's the credit card merchant you use? Like, do you use Square? Do you use PayPal? And I pretty much, I came up with like an acronym, like, you fucking asshole. So, or, F off.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I remember I thought it was
like,
really funny. The company
go fuck yourself.
That's what it was.
GFY. Go fuck yourself. GFYS. GFYS.
That's awesome.
And I put dots in there. I put G dot on, and I sent it to them.
Make it more official.
It was funny how many of them would reply, and either they took two routes. Either they just didn't reply, or they didn't get it and they just kept replying. Or a few of them were like, go fuck yourself. How dare you treat your customers like that? Like, try to play pity, like act like they're an actual customer. I'm like, no, go fuck. And then I just reply with like, yeah, and your number's been reported or to the scams or whatever. Whatever government agency. I'm like, yeah, and your number's been reported and all this, so don't even bother trying to call anyone else, you fucking idiot.
Oh my God. I gotta check out these videos. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. See, it's funny though. As soon as I posted that video though, I haven't got one since. So I don't know.
There's no fun in that.
I don't know if they found the video or something like
they're all buddies. They're all sitting in the same room.
Or I just pissed off enough of them that they realized that I don't fall for this shit, or like, I don't know, I got my number on the he doesn't fall for scam list, which is a great list to get on, I guess.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Like, we have scams. Sorry, go ahead.
But there was what he was mentioning. There was actually like a few months there where I got like literally, it seemed like every week I got a new one. So I just started screenshotting my conversations and like posting them on my Instagram story for thousands of people to see.
They were really
And
good. They were so
people
good.
were just losing it. They were like, "Wait, what?" And it was funny because so many people were like, "Wait, what?" He just wants. They like didn't understand that he was scamming. So I made a whole video on it. Like, hey, if you see this, if someone contacts you and they don't give you details about the event and they ask if you take credit, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. I fell for it before.
How did you fall for
Some
it?
of the prices you were giving them too was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I would quote him out the wazoo for like a wedding. I would hit him with like 15 grand or something like that, and they would say yes.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my God.
I would screenshot and be like, "Hey guys, this is clearly a scam because there ain't nobody in the world paying 15 grand for a wedding."
No, not just the DJ, not just like the setup and everything. No, there's no way. Wow, that's hilarious.
Were there any like YouTube guys when you like, let's just say with DJ Associates and when you were starting, were there any guys doing what you're doing now, putting out like YouTube videos? Because I really like when I started following you and quite regularly watching your videos, I was trying to watch a couple other ones. I saw DJ Barr as well, and his were really, really good. His were a lot more animated, I think is the word that I was saying.
Entertainment, yeah.
Yeah. But like when you were doing it, was there any videos that like you would, not take reference from because you're your own DJ, but like
I mean, as a beginner DJ, there was multiple guys, and they don't. One of them really doesn't exist, but there. Brian S. Red was a huge one for me. I followed him from like the beginnings of considering being a DJ. Like I used to watch. He made gig logs. Technically back then, it was like quick, and it wasn't what we do. It wasn't a vlog style. It was different. And he made videos, and he was an ADJ rep, so he posted all the lighting for ADJ.
Wow.
I mean, he's got 52 something thousand subscribers. He gets like no views now, but like he was really popular when I was becoming a DJ, and I watched a lot of his videos. He made speaker placement videos, kind of like what I remade. Honestly, a lot of it was kind of like my videos I took from like his videos and other videos and remade it into basically what I've learned from all these other videos to make it more educational. But that's a lot of the reason why I started the YouTube channel in the first place was I learned a lot from the YouTube DJs that I saw. So Brian S. Red was huge because he posted a lot. Mikey B. I think it was Mikey B. I'm gonna be so mad if I miss it, but like he posted a lot of videos too, and I liked him a lot. He posted the gig logs. Out of sadness though, he got pretty much the comments got to him, and he stopped posting completely. People were being haters and stuff got to him, and along with that, he had no incentive to post because he wasn't making any money or anything like that, and he's getting hate, so he kind of just stopped posting. It's kind of sucked because he posts a lot of good stuff, but that's kind of like basically I started, and after about 5 years of doing it, I decided to, and the YouTube DJ thing wasn't really, it was random. So I've been on YouTube for years. Like before I even started DJing, I was making YouTube videos. You can go find some old channels where I made like trick shot videos. I made like just parody, not like parody videos, like compilation videos. Like I would take a college team or like say the Cleveland Cavaliers or something like that, and I would just take a bunch of pictures and put it together into kind of like a music video. I put music over it, like a hype thing or something like that. Like the Green Bay Packers one year went to the Super Bowl, and I put Lil Wayne's song behind it and just put it up on YouTube. And I really admired YouTubers growing up. I wanted to be a YouTuber, which is kind of crazy that I'm a YouTuber now.
Yeah.
Another thing that wasn't supported by parents was making videos. And stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Making videos and stuff. So I had a tech one for a while because there's a lot of tech channels that I loved. So and actually, it's funny. The current DJ Rick Webb channel is actually the old techno. What did I call it? Techno Cat was the channel. You ever heard of Techno Buffalo?
No.
On YouTube, they've kind of died off. You've heard of MKHB, the black guy on YouTube that does all the tech stuff.
Yeah.
Super
Yes,
high.
yes.
Yeah. There was a point where him and this guy from Techno Buffalo, John Regin or whatever, they were like the top guys. This was like probably 8 years ago now. But he had Techno Buffalo, and I made a spin-off thing called Techno Cat. And I made tech videos. I have some videos of like how to root your phone and stuff that were up there. All those videos are hidden now on that channel, but the channel was originally called Techno Cat. And actually, if you type in youtube.com/TechnoCatRW, I think it'll pull up DJ Rick Webb. It's the old.
I want to check that out.
It's the old username for it. I've since changed it. You can type in youtube.com/DJ Rick Webb, but that one's still active because it's the original OG name for the channel. It's kind of crazy that worked out. But
that's awesome.
So from doing that trick shot videos, I did vlogs for the longest time. Like I tried to Christmas. I was trying so hard to like just find something that I could gain a following on. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was super excited. My first ever pair of JBL speakers, and it happened that I bought the JBL Eon 615s the first year they came out because DJ Associates was the JBL dealer. I could get my access to them super quick, and I got them on a discount. So that was my first like legit set of speakers was the JBL Eon 615s, and it was the first year they came out. So I was like, I'm gonna film a product review. So I filmed the product review. It didn't really get any views off the get-go, and then I moved on to vlogs and some other stuff. And I think I filmed the rock and roller cart review at one point. And I remember, I don't know what it was. I can't remember where I was or when I was. It was sometime in high school, but it was when I was doing vlogs. So when I was doing vlogs, I was already filming, and I actually have another YouTube channel too. That was or is that the? No, I think I took Technocat. The Technocat's changed like 3 times. I've made it to the Party FX. No, that's the one the Taco Rick account is on. So I have a truck channel too now that I'm building.
What?
Yeah. I have an automotive one that I'm building right now. It's called Taco Rick. I have a Tacoma, so Taco Rick is the channel.
All right.
A new Tacoma too.
It's got 1.6K followers now. It's climbing.
We'll give you a shout out with our 4,000 followers. Bring you up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
You guys like trucks? Come watch it.
Yeah.
I do.
But
I do.
that was my original company back when I first started was called Party FX DJ Service. That was the original DJ Rick Webb company, Party FX DJ Service. So that was the Party FX DJ Service, and I made highlight reels. Kind of like just take the gig logs I make and just take out the DJ portion. I posted those on that channel. And I was filming vlogs, and I remember one vlog I was out of content, so I kind of vlogged the wedding in a way. I just kind of vlogged it, and I filmed what was going on, and I put in that highlight reel inside of it, which is basically what the gig vlogs are nowadays. Mm-hmm. And I remember I made a few vlogs after that, and that vlog in particular got the most views. I mean, I think it got 400 views or something like that. It was a lot. I was getting like 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, and then this one got 400. I was blown away. And I was like, awesome. Something clicked in my head. I was like, maybe this DJ content. And then I looked back, and my JBL Eon review had 8,000 views.
What?
I was like, when did this video start getting views?
Oh, man.
And then I was like, I'm just going to start posting DJ content.
Yeah.
And basically, you can go, it's like really far back on my channel. You can go look and see the vlogs at the beginning of my channel too. Yep. I left all those up there, like the original OG vlogs when I was just vlogging. And I think the wedding vlog's in there too somewhere. But I basically made an announcement on the channel. I was in a cut off tank top looking like a douchebag, but I basically said, Ed, I'm gonna now this is kind of the new start to the channel. I'm gonna start posting regularly, and I'm gonna make vlog content, DJ content, and I was consistent from there on out, and that's pretty much what has led us to today. I mean, I consistently posted once a week. At the most, I think I took off 3 weeks. At one point, I took off 3 weeks, and every time you take off time, it just dips on your analytics. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what led to this. So it was by accident in a way that I just kind of was like, I think I can make this work. Yeah. And then I just stuck with it. And it took 2 years to get 100 subscribers. When I made that decision, I think I had 20 subscribers, maybe 19 subscribers. It took 2 years from that point to get 100 subscribers. It then took 2 months to get 200, and then it took 6 more months to get 1,000, and then I think it was a year to get 5,000, and then another 2 years I think to hit 10,000, and then last year I gained 11,000 subscribers just last year. So
do you get like those plaques? Do you get those like YouTube plaques? So they send those YouTube plaques.
Yeah, when I hit 100,000.
Oh man, you're on your way up, man. That's so awesome. Good for you.
I got at 36 right now, man. I got a ways to go.
That's awesome.
So when you were doing the pigskin and that, didn't you not have somebody that was editing the videos? That he was a student that you worked with, right?
Yeah. I experimented with editors at that point. So I had a kid named Kevin, who took all of our photos. He was like the photo kid for our party group, and it's so awesome. I love where I left. So as a sophomore, there was this company called Animal Cage Parties, and like it was the party kind of thing. Like there was no like party organizations like student ran, like we're gonna throw the house parties, the illegal house parties. We're the ones that are gonna run it. And my sophomore year, I connected with this guy Bryce, who was trying to create this thing, and they already kind of had a little bit of a following, like a couple thousand followers on campus, and we built like Palmer Place. We started to create like a brand around it, like Animal Cage, and then my junior year, Bryce left, and some new guys took it over because I didn't want to head it because I had enough shit to deal with. I work for a company and stuff, so they moved it into Brick Life Company, or Brick Life Events, or Brick Life. It was just called Brick Life basically. But Athens is where I went to college, Athens, Ohio, and it's well known for its brick roads. So Brick Life, like our downtown strip with 21 bars and a quarter-mile stretch is a brick street. It's called Court Street. It's a brick street. Yeah, we have 21 bars and a quarter-mile stretch.
Right.
It's awesome. Bar crawls are great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, sounds like a fun night.
Yeah, we have some. Oh yeah, I have marks on my. We used to do a thing where like you would go to every single bar. That would be the ultimate bar crawl. So you take a Sharpie and put all your marks on your arm as you go. You get a drink at every single bar. I think the most I counted was 24 on my arm the next morning. And
all right,
you kept drinking after that. That's a side story. So they morphed it into what's called Brick Life, and that's when it really took on the whole cultivating a group. Like we started seeking out like, hey, DJs join the company, hey, photographers, hey, videographers. So we got Kevin in there. Kevin was like the original OG, and I did some video stuff too for the YouTube, and I had a drone. So we made like hype video edits and stuff for our club night events at Pigskin. The second semester we did it, we literally had a hype video come out for every single event. It was like a 30-minute hype video that we launched for every single one of them. And we put ad money behind that and posted on Instagram and stuff. And like we had graphic designers on the team that were making flyers for us that looked legit. And this was just all like free stuff. Like there was no money involved in it. And I remember telling Kevin, because I was an engineer in college, and junior year is the hardest year for you. I'm pretty much, I was slave labor basically at that point, averaging 3 to 4 hours of sleep every single night on top of DJing until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had quizzes every single Friday after the Thursday. So we DJed until 2 o'clock in the morning. Got home at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to wake up by 7 a.m. for my quiz. It was great.
Wow.
So you go to that, come back, fall asleep again. But Kevin, I approached him and I was like, I don't have time. I'm like, hey, can you video edit? And he's like, I don't really do video. I do photos. And I'm like, I think you can do it for what what it is that I do. It's very basic. And I was like, you can do it for me. Just cut it up and figure it out. So I eventually started paying him he only did the club nights. Mm-hmm. So I did all the other videos because he couldn't figure them out. But the club nights, he was there the night. So he pretty much knew how they went together, and he cut them up, and we did. And I paid him, I think, like $40 a video or something cheap. College. Anybody would take money.
Yep.
He literally told me, he's like, I'll take $10. I mean, I just want enough money to go buy dinner.
Like, and he would walk around in the crowd too, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he was taking photos the whole entire night, and then we would post up.
$10. I guess he's partying too, so.
He made made $20 the first semester and then $40 the semester to come to every single club night and take photos. That's what he wanted to do. He approached me with the thing. He's like, what if I come and take photos and we can promote with them and post them with like our little branding and stuff? And I'm like, go for it.
Do it, man. That's awesome.
He's like, I'm just going to use it for a resume builder. I'm like, go for it.
There, yeah.
But he actually didn't continue editing my videos. I actually hired a different video editor. So for the most part, he helped edit some of my videos, but like they were only the club nights.
The club ones? Yeah.
He did a lot of the club ones, and then I pretty much did the rest of them. And a lot of the club ones I ended up just editing myself because I did a better job. But yeah, if you want to talk about editors, I'm now at the point where I have a full-time editor on my staff that does all my videos for both the company and for me.
Wow.
And the truck channel, he edits all the videos. Period. He's not cheap.
Well, you got
So
good
do
videos,
you record? Yeah, do you record the stuff and then he edits it, or how does that work then?
Yeah, I film everything. So he's actually in Montana, which if you don't know the United States, he's like a 4-hour plane trip.
4-hour plane trip.
I have never met him in person ever. I found him on Upwork, and he was basically a video editor, and he just recently dropped out of college to pursue this, and I was like, sure. I was literally like his first client. It's kind of very cool and humble at the same time because I'm like one of his top sources of income at this point, which is super awesome. And like it's cool because I've seen him grow so much. Like he started on a laptop, and he just recently this Christmas, through working for me, had built up enough money to buy a full-on PC or like tower rig and monitor, and like it's so cool. And actually, he's building a TikTok following now. I think he's got 22,000 followers on TikTok now. It's dope.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's so cool to be working with him. He's cool. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I found him at the beginning of 2019. So January of 2019 is when he first joined my journey, and he's been with me ever since. I mean, he literally just sent me 2 edits done today, the first revision. So, and I basically we have a Google Drive folder. I upload all the footage. He downloads the footage, makes the revision, sends it to me. I send them back like timestamp edit notes of like, hey, cut this time to this time, add text here, change this around to this around. Just like little quick edit notes. I basically type it up on my phone notes and screenshot it and send it to him. And then he makes the revision, sends it back. And we've had that relationship now for goddamn, year and a half now almost.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Man.
So like are the brides, are they usually pretty cool with you recording for the whole wedding?
I was gonna say that too.
That's very interesting as of right now because we kind of just now started asking.
Surprise!
So I've never had one not cool with it. And I've always, like, when I upload the gig log, I send them the link. I'm like, hey, I just wanted to show you this. I posted the gig log from your wedding. And obviously only the good gigs get posted because
there's like a fight or a fire.
But at least the couples I've worked with, they've all been like, whoa, that's so awesome. And they share it and stuff and they have fun with it. So we're really starting to embrace that a lot more. I've really held back until literally just like last October with like putting out there that I have this huge following. And I don't know. It's kind of not I don't know. People call me stupid for not. They're like, dude, that's like such an instant like, oh my god, you have 20,000 followers at the time, like selling point. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I don't want them to go look at all the videos that I have on my channel because I have I have college parties and stuff on there. I'm like, I want them to treat me as professional.
Yeah.
I don't want them to go watch the gig log that says crazy night. I got a little tipsy.
Yeah. Or the one where it got shut down because you basically filled an entire the one that was outside there.
Yeah.
Only got shut down.
Believe it or not, though, one of the original couples we worked with, and actually Marcel's DG the wedding, I remember we went into the final planning meeting at their venue with them, and they like ended it. They basically were like, yeah, we're leaving and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we're super excited to like rage and party, and Marcel was like, yeah, we're gonna get lit, and then the groom was like, "Yeah, I've watched some of the college videos on Rick's channel,"
Oh,
and he's like, "I'm excited."
oh man, that was awesome.
I was like, "Yeah, I guess the link is on the website right now."
Yeah.
Private.
It was just like a link. It was.
Private
It was just like. It was. Yeah. It was just like Rick's YouTube. It wasn't like right now. It's like Rick's YouTube, and it says how many subscribers, and it's like big and bold, and it's like on multiple pages now, and yeah. So.
That's good though. Hey man, you obviously work hard. You work hard at what you do, so people will
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like even just like we've been talking for like an hour, and like I'm just like blown away. Like you're just like you're earning and burning. So this isn't your only gig you do, right? You're not just a DJ.
If you want to talk, no, I have a full-time job as an engineer.
Jesus.
Like the reason why I was asking if it would be later is because with the whole coronavirus, I was actually one of the. Apparently, I'm valued pretty heavily in the company. It's crazy. I work for a little company known as a Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little one.
Yeah.
It's
So
tiny.
I work at the one of the manufacturing plants in our area. It's actually the only airplane manufacturing facility for Goodyear, in one of the only two. The other one's in Thailand. But we make every single one of the 747 tires that you fly on. Every Boeing, every Airbus plane you fly on comes from our factory. The B-52 bomber tire. Yeah, there's a lot there. And then we also make semi-truck tires. But yeah, so
You're busy guy.
well, we just recently started up last week, and then I got brought in the second week, and I'm one of like 80 out of our normal 210 salary staff that got brought in. It's kind of crazy, but literally the head of production said he hand selected me to be part of his core team. So next week I actually start working directly for the plant manager. I've only been here a little less than 2 years.
Man,
I'm kind of blown.
Dude, that's
I'm
exciting.
kind of blown
That's
away.
exciting.
But like I asked if we could do this late because I have been working 10 plus hours every single day this week. I just pulled let me check my overtime sheet 11 hours today.
yeah. We won't keep you much longer.
I got home at 7:10.
Oh man.
Well,
No,
I
it's
feel even
fine.
worse for texting you twice this week.
No, it's perfectly fine, dude. I balance a hell of a workload. Like I answer hundreds of comments every single day. Like anybody that messages me on Instagram, I answer them. Anybody that puts a comment on any of my videos, all my channels, I see every single one of them. If you ask a question, I'll respond to it. And I pride myself in that. I've done that since the beginning. That was one of the biggest foundations of my channel is I'm going to be communicative with my audience. I hate when there's content people that just never comment back.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to get to a point where I can't do that, but as of right now, I can. And
Well, and like you say, you do so much, man. It's nuts. Like you say.
I mean, I'm also single. I don't have kids. I live alone.
Burning and burning.
So being able to pull 90 to 100 plus hours a week is not too much of a struggle.
Yeah. Yet.
I'm pretty much at the point where 4 hours of sleep is about normal.
Man.
Like I got a sleep tracker. I remember checking it, and my average sleep for the last 2 years was like 4.4 hours.
What?
And that tracks my sleep every single night.
Dude.
I remember checking it. I was like, how the fuck am I alive?
Like, oh my god. You're this productive of 4 hours of sleep a night?
Caffeine, man, caffeine.
Dude. Man, I work 2 jobs and I need 8 hours, or I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. That's not happening today. That's crazy. Jeez.
Here, well, I'll just tell you, but this is so on this app, I use an app called, I don't know, like Sleep or whatever on my phone, and it says on average in the United States on their app, it is the average for their users on the United States over the last year was 6 hours and 17 minutes, with 55% of deep sleep or whatever. My average was 4 hours and 48 minutes for the last year with 60% deep sleep. So I get more deep sleep though.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's the
Yeah,
difference.
it's got like a big red underneath my sleep thing, and it's like you need 1 hour and 12 minutes more to be normal.
The federal average, man.
Yeah. It's good thing it doesn't take a blood test for caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your heart rate.
Yeah, right.
Crazy thing, I didn't really start on the caffeine until I got out of college.
No way. Dude.
Yeah, I didn't really.
Man.
I mean, the only time I took caffeine was like if I didn't really sleep. Like after a club night, yeah, I got like a kickstart that has like 100 milligrams of caffeine. But yeah, after college, it's crazy how much harder life is when you get out of college, to be honest.
You gotta pay all
It's
those
easy
bills.
but harder. It's crazy. It's easy but it's harder, and it goes like 20 times faster.
Yeah, and it matters more. Every move you make matters way more. I found. Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks, but it's awesome at the same time because you don't have to use your mind as much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Are
But
you
yeah.
are you still sponsored by that company for the energy drink
no.
thing? No.
Hell no. I applied to be sponsored by Bang, and I got it because I have a following, and basically I had to meet the requirement of I had a sales quota.
No.
Oh,
So
God.
I had a discount
okay.
code for Bang, but my discount code was 25% off of their website, and the price to buy it on their website. First off, you could only buy a case; you couldn't buy individuals. So for you to buy a case on their website costs more than if you just went to Walmart and bought 12 of them.
Yeah.
So no shit, I didn't sell any.
Nobody's going on the website to buy Bang. Oh my god.
But I definitely enjoyed it while I was on there because I got 50% off of all Bang. So I could get it a lot cheaper, and they gave me tons of swag. Like I got bags now and random stuff. So it worked out in the long run in terms of just like a little thing. But I don't know. I don't know. I still drink them every single day.
Yeah.
I have a Bang a day. Bang a day.
So do customers or not customers? Do companies approach you for like promotions and stuff? Like for what is it? That's not promotions. Yeah.
I mean,
Product
I've got
placement.
Yeah.
ever since I had 1,000 subscribers, I've been getting emails from companies. Majority of them are Chinese companies. I'm sure you guys probably get emails from Chinese companies asking, leave a review of this product and we'll give it to you for free and all this. Yeah, so I did some of those starting out and stuff, and then I'm like, this ain't worth my time. And they want a full video for their $20 light or something like that. And I'm like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. I actually kept doing it in college, but I made a negotiation with them that I would leave a review. I would take photos and leave a review, and what I did, which was kind of cool, but I would get the free like $20, $30, sometimes a $40 light from China, and I would just give it to one of the guys I knew in college that needed it more than I did. The guys that, because in college it's a lot of the DJs in college are beginners for the most part. Like they've never DJ'd or anything like that, and I'm sitting here like I got 4 18-inch subwoofers and 4 tops. Funny thing, on Twitter in college, I left my hashtag as the loudest DJ in Athens, Ohio. and it was funny because even the big guys in the town, they couldn't argue with that either because they only had like 2 QSC K12s. Like I literally had the loudest. If we were doing a house party and I was there, it was heard.
Man, that is so rad. So
I had so much fun.
So have you listened to podcasts before? Are you into podcasts? Like I know that you're coming out with your own, right?
Yeah, it's we have 2 episodes up there right now. We need to film the 3rd. We've been struggling to find time to film our 3rd right now. But yes and no to listening to podcasts. So I definitely enjoy podcasts. There's some that I enjoy. The problem for me is with being busy, I don't have much time to listen to a podcast or be in a podcast. So I get into them here and there. Like it has to be a really, really interesting title for a podcast for me to be like, oh, I'm going to sit down. Or there's a really interesting person. Like for me, sales podcasts are awesome. I love listening to business podcasts. I'm very entrepreneurial based, like Grant Cardone. I can't remember all these. There's a it's called Valuetainment on YouTube. I watch a lot of their stuff, but they post like 10, 20-minute videos, but I listen to them like a podcast. Like I play them in my truck when I'm going to work and stuff, and I listen to them. So that's what a lot of my podcast consuming is, educational content. That's my sort of like niche on podcasts. Yeah. If I can listen to it and learn stuff, I love it.
Yeah.
Because that means multitask.
Yeah. You can almost say your mobile DJ hangouts too are kind of a podcast, kinda.
Yeah, that's true. We really kind of realized that over the last couple times we've been doing it. We're like, this is kind of like a podcast, honestly.
It is.
We've been having so much fun in that, honestly.
It's awesome, man. It's really good content. I love it.
Me and Bar were actually just texting about it in terms of it's almost like we're at the conventions like we normally are. Like the conversations you see us having on those live streams is literally the same thing we're doing at conventions, just literally going back and forth off each other, just having a good time.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
If you're not having fun, it's not worth it. It's not worth putting all the time and effort into if you're not having fun. So
we had a blast on Cleveland's last one we just did when people started donating money. There was just this one dude that donated like $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. It was crazy. And then people started throwing in money, and we're sitting there like, and this was like in hour 3 of this podcast. We did 4 hours that night, 4.5 actually.
This is the last one I watched. I was on it for about a half an hour there.
Yeah, no, we went for 4.5 hours that night.
4 hours just hanging out, just shooting the shit.
Just hanging out, talking, chatting. It was so much fun. We were kind of on the edge of closing, and then people started donating money, and we just like got excited. We're like, yeah, let's go. We're just like getting thrilled over people doing $1.99 and stuff. We're like, okay, from now on, only questions we are taking are for donations. Do I hear 20? Do I hear 20? We were just playing with the audience and stuff, and then Bar started we started joking with Bar about how Bar was broke, so we started hey, Bar grew up broke or grew up poor. It was like a chain thing. It was like, here's $5 for the guy that grew up poor.
Oh man,
it was funny as hell.
Poor guy from New Jersey.
We were having so much fun, dude. It was a blast.
Yeah, they're great.
So
they're really good.
Going forward, obviously they got the COVID stuff going on. This is affecting the day-to-day for business. Well, obviously you got your full-time gig, but like your other, like it's affecting the day-to-day. I was asking Ernie that too, because Ernie, that's his part-time job too, is the DJ stuff. It's just like, what do you do? Like, what are you waiting on? Like, you can't even plan. You can't even date it.
Yeah, it's it affected my full-time job too. They closed the factory for a whole entire month. I was on unemployment for 6 weeks. Yeah.
Jeez.
It was the best time ever. I had the most time ever.
Okay.
I had the most fun ever on unemployment because the government is subsidizing another $600 on top of unemployment. I was making close to what I made on a regular basis at my normal job. I was having a blast.
Oh man, that sounds horrible.
I was like, this is so much fun. I don't have to do shit. I can just focus 100% on my business. I got so much done. It's awesome. But yeah. Besides that though, it definitely affected our business a ton. Thankfully, I didn't have any cancellations. I take that back. Any cancellations that I already put down a deposit. We have relationships with venues where we're like tied into their package. So like we're in an all-inclusive package with them, but we don't get paid until we actually do the event. So we did have 2 of those cancel, but it really didn't hurt me because I didn't have any money on the line. She had money on the line. I didn't have any. In terms of like money that I've already dished out, I just had a date, which I guess I lost out on money in terms of that, but everyone lost money, so I didn't really count it. But yeah, I mean, every single wedding after we had our first wedding of the season on March 14th, I think. And then after that is when it really picked up here in the United States, and literally every single wedding from that point on has canceled or has postponed to a later date at this point. We have one couple that's hanging on to a May 30th date right now. And they're pretty much just hoping that they can do 50 people by that date. And that's through the venue that we do. So again, I don't really have much of a connection with the couple. It's through them. They kind of just assign us. It's a cheaper rate. We don't really deliver our full service there. But after that event, we don't have anything until mid to late July 18th, I think, is the next actual event on the calendar right now. And that's what everyone's postponed. August has gone from no events to completely booked every single weekend, double booked. That's pretty much where everyone postponed. Everyone postponed to August. or September, or they postpone to completely next year. Which kind of sucks because you're basically losing twice in that sense.
Yeah.
Because not only are you're not making money on this event, but they just took a date for an event you could have made more money on. So, the biggest killer for me actually just happened last Friday. So, before last Friday, our state was still under the intentions of sending the kids back to school before the end of the school year. They were still planning. They were planning like towards the end of May. They were going to reopen schools, and they were going to finish out May into June, which I kind of knew wasn't going to happen. So all my proms were still on at that point, and our proms are very big ticket price. So I have a lot of money tied up in it. The big one that I mentioned that I was going to do with all the trees and stuff and tons of string bulb lighting, I have literally $2,000 worth of decor specifically for that event that I've already bought. They made the announcement that they were canceling schools, so all the proms got canceled in that sense. So I lost out on a ton of money in that sense. Thankfully, none of them are asking for refunds. We're just going to forward that money to next year. But moving forward from that, at least here, it's more than likely going to happen in stages. That's kind of the grasp of where I'm at. It's going to happen in stages. So they're going to open it up for 10-person events, 50-person events, 100-person events, 200-person events. And I heard someone else pitch this idea. Is actually a buddy of mine that I went to college with. He's one of the main DJs there. It's something he's going to be doing. And I was like, this is genius. I'm going to offer it. So I'll give you guys the nugget too. Because of these events, all these brides don't want to postpone again. So coming in stages, they're going to have to cut their list. They're going to have to cut their guest list down completely. So I have cameras. I know how to live stream.
Yeah.
So we're basically going to be offering a very cheap service because videographers cost a ridiculous amount of money. Where basically we will record the audio from our audio board. We'll record with the camera of your ceremony. And if we have internet capabilities, some of these venues are rural, so we don't have the internet. We'll live stream it to Facebook. But we will record it and we'll mash the audio with the camera recording. It's just going to be very basic, just the camera pointed on them, and basically give them the file afterwards to be able to upload to Facebook. And we're going to do it really, really cheap, honestly. Like I'm thinking maybe at the maximum $300. I'm thinking more or less around $199 is what I was shooting for on price. For us to set up a camera with a video and just make their day and make better out of this whole situation. I'm not trying to make a profit, really. I'm just trying to maybe they don't buy the uplights because they don't really need to fill the venue and they get this instead because it's more valuable to them. Something like that. But that's something that I'm considering doing because I've already got brides contact me and I've told them this is what we're going to be offering. And they're like so excited because I have brides that are like, I have a 200-person wedding coming up in September. Like I have 200 people that RSVP'd. And right now I'm being told by my venue that it's going to have to be under 100. And I don't want to have to do that. I'm hoping this clears up by then. I'm like, well, if it doesn't, we can do this. So
that's so interesting.
That's a great idea.
Like,
so,
you know, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was saying what Ernie's been doing. Ernie's been doing this thing on Saturday nights for his little gig. He's been doing live DJ nights where he gets people like, plug me into your stereo system at home. And let me run a party for you. I'll run it through my system and run it through. What are you running it through, Ernie?
Just basically, I have what I'm doing with right now. I have a spare cell phone that still has a headphone jack. So it's got one of the Y splitters, so I can do a headphone and a microphone coming off of it. So it'll turn the connection around, so it'll turn into a mic input, and then basically just broadcast live on Facebook right from my controller.
Nice. Yeah, and it's live. Like, so I was it last weekend or 2 weekends ago, where I have it on my system in my house, and I'm just like, I got a dance party going on in my house, and Ernie's DJing it live. Like that seems like a great idea for like DJ companies to be like, hey, if the wedding's not working out, we can do the video live, and then my DJ is going to be running music all night for us and our wedding. And then everybody can be listening and partying at the same time. Like, I don't know. That seems like a cool idea.
Yeah, the problem with that, though, is the copyright, right?
If you live stream it, yeah.
Yeah.
We've actually, so I have multiple solutions that we're working on for that too. Actually, in the prom scene too. I don't really want to do it because I think students will think it's stupid. Because me personally, if I was a student, I'd think it's stupid. But my buddy in Ohio that's doing this, he literally just did a wedding. Actually, he actually did a wedding. It was on their parents' private property. This was going to be a big blown out wedding. But instead they had it on their parents' private property. They had 10 people, which is under the threshold of what Ohio was telling them to have or whatever. And it was on private property, so no one would say. But he did the whole live stream Facebook and recorded it for the ceremony. And then he went back to his office and did a live Zoom reception party.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where he had all the family and friends join in on Zoom, and he just DJ music, and they all danced and partied and stuff and had a great time.
That's awesome.
And he said you couldn't imagine how thrilled that bride was that she kept her date and everything. And I've already been pitching it to a lot of the couples when we were first doing these postponements. I mean, they're crushed that they can't have their date. It's the date they always wanted and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know that whole jazz. They picked this date and all that. I was telling all of them, I'm like, you can keep your date. Just get married on your date and hold your party for later. Your date and your ceremony is more or less for you and your close family. Mm-hmm. Your friends are just kind of there. They really won't remember it. They're there for the party. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So postpone your reception and just keep your marriage and get married or get an elopement on your date. That's all you need. And you get to keep your date, and then you just have your party later. I mean, it's that simple.
And then use you. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But it was crazy how many of the brides, when I told that to them, their eyes just lit up and they're like, that makes so much sense.
Jackpot.
And it's just kind of like one of those things, like they're going out, like they're losing their mind, like they're completely like the world ended, and it's bringing them down to reality and just kind of making sense out of the situation.
Yeah, man.
As best as you possibly can. So it's definitely it's going to be a crazy. I pretty much have wrote off 2020 as not going to be much of anything this year. We'll have parties, we'll have weddings more than likely, but they're probably going to be small. Small doesn't normally lead to a good party, but at the same point, everyone's cooped up in the house and just is eager to go party. Yeah. At least on the young side. Yeah. So what I've kind of my idea is that the parties are going to be small, and it's going to be heavy young crowds. Like the older people that are going to be coming to these parties or these weddings, they're probably going to dip out of there really early. They're not going to want to party because they're the ones trying to avoid the whole situation. But the young kids, they're just sitting there like, I want to go party. I know that personally. Like my buddies, we're all texting like, as soon as this is over, we need to go have like a family vacation. All of us from college, like, hey, we're all going to go out to the lake. We're going to get a house. We're just going to rage. And so I definitely know that's kind of where I see things going at least.
Yeah.
Have they lifted anything where you guys are yet?
No. So well, I guess South Carolina, which is the state just south of me, tried to open up everything for like 3 days. They literally just they skipped the whole phases that were recommended and just went like, hey, everything's open, like parlors, barbers, and they had to go back under a stay-at-home order really quick because it got. But I think someone told me like Florida has opened up the beaches already. Yep. And Georgia is already kind of almost back to fully open. We are under right now. It got extended, so the whole school announcement also extended it. May 8th is when our stay-at-home order will end, and they will start phase 1. I don't really remember what phase 1 is, but it's basically like it opens up, but everything is still on the same restrictions as far as essential business. It's just the stay-at-home orders lifted, and it's like 14 days have to pass, and your percentage can't go above this in terms of cases and deaths. And then they move on to the next series of businesses, which are kind of like the smaller, like barbers and the lesser stuff. And then there's the next phase, and then the next phase. And I think we're gonna get stuck on the very last phase, though, in terms of like weddings and stuff like that. I think we're going to be like on the very tail end. Like they'll open up all the businesses possible out there before they allow events.
Like venues and stuff opening.
Venues, they'll keep those until the very end because they're not business. They're not contributing to the
they're not big business. Yeah.
They're not part of the whole money cycle as much as the businesses are.
Yeah, if they did that at Walmart, I bet you they'd open it up pretty quick.
Hell, Walmart's still open. You know, this blew my mind. I don't know if it's at every Walmart, but I went to Walmart the other day because I needed printer ink. You know what they have closed off? The whole entire electronics section.
What?
Because on essential business, they can only offer essential products.
Oh, come on.
So the whole entire electronics section, the automotive section, completely closed. Paint closed. I can't remember all the different areas that like they had like roped off. Like you can't even go back there. I'm like, it's just on the shelf right there. I need that.
I'll pay double. Just give it to me.
Well, I just went on my phone and went to Amazon. I'm like, and Amazon's like, it'll be here in 3 days. I'm like, all right, cool. It showed up today. All right, cool.
Yeah, our Walmarts. You show up and you stand in line, and then you go to the front door and you say, "This is what I want," and then they go get it for you, bring it to you, you pay right there. Yeah. So there's lines around the side of the buildings, like it's crazy.
I think that's like Los Angeles, California level in New York, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Those are the worst areas to go to. Like California is like the most, like they have a active stay-at-home order with no ending right now. Like they don't have an announced end. Like it is until further notice, stay-at-home order.
Yeah, everything's closed. Everything that like you can only do pickup. So if it's got Ernie and I are involved in a lot of local businesses around Cambridge, and so we help out. We shout them out. We tell people about it. You call ahead. You get what you're gonna get. They come out to your car. They hand you a bag with gloves and a mask on, and then you just pay email transfer. They email transfer the money. There's no exchange of money, cash, touching anything, and you're just like, take this and get out of it. Like it's crazy. That's what our economy's doing right now, and
that's another level. Yeah, right here you can still go shopping like normal.
Nope.
They do have occupancy levels and stuff, and they put there's arrows in all the aisleways, so like you can only travel down this aisle this way and then this way. So all the social distancing like policies are in place. We don't have like a wear a mask order yet. Some states have established, like Ohio. I know Ohio has that. Like when you're in public, you have to be wearing a mask. They did that at where I work. I have to wear a mask every single day at work. And then they have like sanitization stations and social distancing and all that. But
I think if it would open stuff up, I'd be down for wearing a mask going to Walmart.
But remember, the masks are to protect people from you, right? That's what the masks are for. It's not like the masks that they're handing out.
The mask, from what the CDC says, is to help prevent you from touching your face.
Oh, interesting.
Because the way that you catch it is by touching the most likely place. Yeah, they're not really worried about you spraying because social distancing will keep that in bay. It's you touching objects that have been contaminated with the virus and then touching your face.
Wow.
So that's why they're advocating like wash your hands as much as you can. Use hand sanitizer every time you touch something before you go to touch your face and stuff. So what I was reading, that's why they recommend just the cloth mask. It's more or less to keep you from actually touching your face, which is ironic because wearing the mask at work, I touch my face more because I'm constantly adjusting the thing.
I'm scratching the mask so I can scratch what's under the mask. I'm like, okay, because we have beards. Ernie's beard's way bigger than mine. Mine used to be as big as his, and it's just like, okay, I got a beard under here. This is not copacetic. This is not working.
Yeah, not working.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy time. I just it must be just like I was just asking Ernie. It must be an interesting time for his weddings and stuff. But hopefully we can all get out of this and everybody just figures it out and nobody eats any more bat soup or whatever happened over in Wuhan. Whatever.
If anything, the positive is when you're sitting on your cyber futuristic chair as an old grandpa talking to your grandchildren, you can be like, "I tell you what. We one time had to sit at home and do nothing. We couldn't go anywhere. We had to wear a mask."
This is a great time.
Blaming our daggone Batman.
But this is a great time to make content. This is a great time for podcasts and videos. Like,
That's why we started ours.
Our podcast is like, we've got like our last one. The guy was great. We like it was an awesome guest. And then I looked at the views today. I was like, I've never seen this many like downloads and streams. I was like, and I looked at my wife. I'm like, this has got to be like the people sitting at home. This is awesome. This is amazing. I'm like, this is the time for people to put out content. So already are like, we were like scrambling. Like, do we use Skype? Do we use Zoom? Okay, we're gonna pay for Zoom, like, cause it's like you have to pay for it if there's 3 of us, and then like at the last podcast we did at the 40-minute mark, we go, okay, hang on, I cancel it, and then call everybody back in and go, and then we like continue the conversation. I think we did that 3 times, but I'm like, this is what we're gonna have to do, like, but people, this is like, we do this because we enjoy it. We like hanging out with people, like rad people like you, where they have an amazing story. And it's inspiring, and then people hear this story, and they're like, "Man, all the work he puts in, like all the like what he went through, and the stories he has." And so this is why we do it. And so we want to like figure it out so people can get that content and hang out and enjoy it because we like doing it. So anyway, we can figure out how to do it right now. Is like this is the cool time to do it. Like I was talking to our sponsor today. Renee, I went and bought some beer today, and he was just like, "Man, thanks for that. That was a great ad. Oh man, he had like 20 people come and tell him." Listen to the podcast, came in, like, bought beer. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is what's up. This is our time. This is our time to shine.
Nice.
Yeah, it was rad. It was so
Yeah,
rad.
I see why you guys have a good podcast, honestly, because you guys are good hosts. Like, I've been, with this whole pandemic, I've been on, like, 4 or 5 different podcasts now.
What?
In fact, like, one yesterday. And this has been the best one, the best ran podcast I've ever been a part of. I kid you not. There's so many podcasts where like it's just like they're relying on doing a live stream podcast and their 10 audience members are going to ask all the questions.
What?
And they just sit there and kind of go, yeah.
Well, that was a good question.
This is great. great questions. Great questions.
Yeah. So
you got anything else, Rick? How about now? What do you got?
Yeah. So that's definitely a thing that Ernie and I have like. We work hard.
You prep. You have your podcast prepped. I can tell.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, we do a little research.
It keeps it flowing.
Yeah,
this is something we're working on. Like me and Eric on. I'm pointing because this is like our normal studio setup.
Yeah.
That's something we're working on personally in ours. Like the last podcast episode I edited, I cut it out so much fluff, and I was so irritated editing it. I actually edited it too, so that was crazy. Jumping back into the editing role again.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, we need to have like a script. He's like, no, we'll just flow naturally. You and me have chemistry, like we'll flow naturally.
Yeah.
And like we did have good topics, but like we went so left field, right field, left field, right field. I'm like, we gotta have a script, man.
Yeah, you gotta like not to give advice or anything. The way that we kind of do it is like you wanna. It's like if you think timeline, who, what, when, where, why, how.
Yes.
And then you. But let the things happen naturally because people can hear that. Like I was doing a review for a podcast. A guy who used to be a sponsor of ours started a podcast. Said, "Hey, can you listen to it? Can you give me some advice?" I said, "First thing, you got to be real." I'm like, "You guys are coming across as it's set up," and you're like, "So what do you think about that?" Oh, well, the thought that I'm like, you're not like it's not
like a script, just like. Item
and
like five bullet points.
Yeah.
Bullet points.
Yes.
Bullet points.
Yes.
Like I want to hit on this, and this, and we did that on the first one, and it worked great. But like in the second one, it was like a topic that we talk about every single day. Like me and him know like the back of our palm and the back of our hand. But we kind of just like started with this, and we just went. And what happened was we would get to the point where like this, like dry air, air, like what's next? And then one of us would just continue on with the same topic, just adding some stupid add-on to some fluff, basically, to keep that same point rolling. Yeah. Versus we could have had a bullet point to go into this next point to start a whole new sort of journey in the podcast.
What I do is give my tips and tricks. I keep a notebook right here. So as we're talking, I'm like, oh, I'm going to ask him about that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask him about that. And I know Ernie's got his notebook. He's got his notebook sitting right there. Oh, actually,
all your,
you know, like, you know, we're just sitting here. So it makes it so we have a flow, but then there's an organization within the flow. Because Ernie and I could just riff. Like, him and I can just laugh about, like, what that, like, I don't know if you know this, but we're brothers. So we're brothers.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah,
we know what we're
yeah.
thinking.
The
We're
hats,
like,
the hats were
beard.
throwing me off. The hats and the glasses were throwing me off.
oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So if I take this off, yeah. But like I know we already kind of know where we're going. I know what he's thinking. I know what we have that connection. Like we have that kind of edge on people, and that it's really cool for you to say that. We were really honored for you to say that. I'm like I saw Ernie smile, but like that is so cool to hear because we try. We love it, and then if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it. So yeah. Hey man.
And then we just gave all your listeners how to do a good podcast.
No, they won't do it.
That's all good.
You gotta have this bro
You gotta
vibe.
have that chemistry.
You gotta have the chemistry, man. If you don't have that, we've never met. Like we almost probably over 80% of our podcast guests I've never met, never talked to, and we always have a rad time. We always have a cool chat. It always is worthwhile in the end, and then we become friends, and then we just connect after this, and then we network, and then we grow, and then we promote each other because like I want you to do well, and you want us to do well, and we're like I want them to have I want you to have 100 weddings next year, and I want people in the States to be like, hook this guy up. Like we have listeners in the States, we got listeners in weird like Japan and Germany and stuff. Like we want them to hook you up. We want you know what I mean. So it's all about networking. We love it. So it's rad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked that you came on, man. We won't keep you late because you just worked a 10 out 11 hour day, but you are more than welcome to come and chat with us again. We'd love it. All the best.
Absolutely.
And, Ernie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rick. Again, thank you for all the amazing content, man. Thank you for just being nothing but helpful in all your videos and like you say, responding to comments, even to stupid like the ones that you would do like to review people's setups. Like people like you that have such a huge following don't have to do that, but it's like
you don't have to do that.
That's why you have such a huge following.
Even hate comments. You got to respond to hate comments. You just be a sarcastic asshole to them. It's all good.
Well, yeah, of course.
It was we were at a last. I don't always like to go and help Ernie DJ because he's like a freak. He's like, this has to go here. This goes here. This goes here.
I'm that way too.
Don't tape those wires down there.
That's kind of like me and my brother's relationship. I'm like just yelling at him the whole freaking time. Like, no, that's not how you do it.
Don't tape
that
those.
wire goes there.
Yeah.
I just told you this.
Yeah. So, and he's like, okay, and then he told me, okay, I'm gonna pay you. I'll pay you to come out. And then it made me feel worse because I wasn't doing what he wanted, and he's paying me. I'm like, not doing this ever again. But he was saying he was watching some of your videos, and he's like, okay, this is what I would do because he watched some of your tips and trips on how like to do the venue up and how to set it up and how you walked around with
management.
Yeah, so he watched some of your videos and he implemented it on his own gig, and he's a super fan. So anyway, man,
awesome.
We were stoked to have you on. Cheers. Yeah, thanks for coming out, buddy.
So if people want to get a hold of your videos and your merch, so your videos are on the DJ Rick Webb channel. And your merch, what was the website again to get a hold of your merch for your shirts?
Well, right now it's limited stock, and we won't restock until we're thinking July is going to be the summer drop. But it's shopdjlife.com. Shopdjlife.com is my merch thing. And then if you want to find our podcast, it's the DJ Life Podcast on YouTube, on just literally about anything, Spotify, iTunes, but
on all the platforms and that.
Yeah, we have a YouTube version of it though, where you can go watch video of us actually doing the podcast live.
That's right.
So you got that, and then the main place is youtube.com/DJRickWeb, and that's DG Rick RICK Web with 1B WEB, not BB. But if you feel free to search for DJ Rick Webb, because the search term DJ Rick Webb with 2 B's is more popular than the search term with 1 B. So I'll pop up either way.
That's awesome.
Thank God for misspelling.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank God for tagging all my videos that way too, because I realized it early on, and it's one of my tags, and every video is DJ Rick Webb with 2 B's. So it pops up either way.
Awesome. All right, man.
Well, as long as you got a large, cool.
What were you gonna say, Ernie? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I hope you got a large shirt left, because I was going on there a couple days ago and I didn't have any left.
Yes, I have 2 designs left in a large, and I hate tear down in gray and in black.
I don't know.
It's like
how the hell are you gonna get that, Ernie? Canada Post is not shipping. Like, I don't know how you're gonna get that up here. Like, good luck. Like, are they even let stuff cross the border? I'm sure they are.
Hit me up
That's a
afterwards. I'll hook you up.
He's gonna hook you up.
I'll hook both you guys up.
All right,
what size you wear? I'll hook both you guys
I'm
up.
extra large. we're big bros.
I have 2 extra larges left. Period.
All right, man. Well, anyway, dude, thanks so much for coming on. Cheers.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to ask me any questions, period, you want to reach out to me, the place to ask me questions is Instagram. Instagram.com/DJRickWebb. I direct all questions to Instagram. If you ask me a question on anything other than Instagram, you're going to get a delay. So Instagram, I answer every single question every single day, multiple times a day. So Instagram is the place to get a hold of me. It's just where I filter all my – it's easier to filter. You got the primary, the general box. It's easy to filter.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Cheers. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your masks.
Don't eat bat soup.
Yeah. Later.